10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Manchester
1,
United have
0.
reached the promised land.
Well. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, or just a bang average morning. Wednesday, the 8th of June. It's pretty miserable outside. And there's no signings for United yet. And I tell you what, I can sense it now. I can sense the frustration that's starting to creep into United fans who feel like this summer's just going to be another one of those summers, a summer where we're told so much but given so little by comparison, and that Erik Ten Hag will ultimately be let down. I don't want to be the bringer of the doom and gloom. So what I'm going to do this morning is run through everything that's happened in the last 20. Look, yesterday's stream, you'll know that I didn't do a stream on Monday. I didn't really feel like there was much worth talking about in terms of activity. Yesterday, there seems to be a hive of activity, a load of names linked to Manchester United. And we're not talking about Jurrien Timber. We're not talking about Frenkie de Jong. But we are this morning going to be talking about Darwin Nunez, who now is going to be the main focus and the starting point. It wasn't going to be what I was going to speak about, but Paul Joyce from the Times, he's come out with an interesting update on Darwin Nunez that we definitely had to speak about. Bjorn, is that Bjorn there? Bjorn, nice to see you there, joining as a member. I'm not sure I'll recognize your name, but look, good morning to you, Bjorn. Where are you watching from? And good morning to all the regular members down here. We've got Daisy. Good morning to you, Ozzy. And I can see you there, Olusola, sorry. Fred, Craig, Josh, Ian, Simon, good morning to all of you. Good morning to Jedi as well, and Paula. Red's watching all around the world, and I'll tell you what, as I said, I can sense that the frustration is starting to build. I think when you see, well, I'll speak about it later in the show, you see Real Madrid on the verge of agreeing a deal for Aurelien Tchouameni, and you're hearing and seeing stories of all the other clubs linked with tons of other players, and you think, what are United doing? We've got 19 days now until Erik Ten Hag, he's back for pre-season training. That's when it's going to begin on the 27th of June. And we have so much still to do. Let me run through all the updates that have happened in the last 24 hours. Because it's either United are making moves or we're just pawns in this big transfer game. And there's obviously different interpretations you can take for everything that's gone on. But I want to start by focusing on Darwin Nunez. Now, Darwin Nunez, if we're looking at Manchester United attackers that we're linked with, not Manchester United attackers we're linked with signing for Manchester United this summer, Darwin Nunez and Christopher Nkunku, they're the two main candidates, right? RB Leipzig, Benfica, big money for both of them. And yesterday, this Uruguayan journalist, Sebas Giovanelli, he said that United and Newcastle yesterday, they're the teams that are bidding for him. Now, it was Sebas who I believe was first with the story of Facundo Pellistri to Manchester United. So maybe he's got some Uruguayan links and that's where he's getting the information from. That happened yesterday and we were like, okay, Darwin Nunez, nothing's really happened and nothing's changed on that. Then this morning, we're hearing quite a lot of noise coming out of the Liverpool side of things, with Dominic King from the Daily Mail saying that Liverpool want to sign Darwin Nunez and are prepared to smash their transfer record to get him. Again, maybe that's just considered a bit of hot air, but this isn't hot air. This is Paul Joyce writing for the Times. Now, if you don't know who Paul Joyce is effectively David Ornstein levels. When Paul Joyce speaks, Liverpool fans know that they're getting some really solid information. And this is what he's saying about the Darwin Nunez story, which is definitely something that we need to talk about this morning. Darwin Nunez, there, Benfica want 85 million pounds. No, that's not a typo. It's not a spelling mistake. 85 million pounds for him. So that Liverpool have been told it will take a club record fee of 85 million to prize the Uruguayan striker Darwin Nunez from Benfica. Nunez is on Jurgen Klopp's wanted list, but I don't really care about whether he's on the wanted list. I'm simply talking about that price tag. 85 million for Darwin Nunez. I mean, how much did they get for how Felix went? João Felix? I always get his name wrong. When he went to joined Atletico Madrid. I think it was over 100 million, wasn't it? Joined Atletico Madrid. Let's have a look. 113 million. My goddamn word. Benfica are a club who are notoriously good at getting big money for signings. And look, as I said, João Felix, 113 million. But how How are Benfica, like, and you've just put it in the comments there, how are Benfica seriously going to try and put a price tag of more than Erling Haaland's release clause on Darwin Nunez? That absolutely stinks. Look, Phil, it's down here. Look, mate, Liverpool can have him at that price. United are not in the market where we can spend 80, 85 million on any player this summer. Whether that would be Aurelien Tchouameni, who we've seen is going to Real Madrid, that's going to be a deal worth over 100 million euros. Whether that's Darwin Nunez, 85 million. I mean, we're talking about Christopher Nkunku and the fact that we all feel that maybe 70 to 75 million euros might be a price that's a bit too much for Christopher Nkunku. And they go and slap that price on him there. Wow. Mills, you're saying, look, we need to stop getting dragged into things like this. Once that price tag has been thrown about, we should walk away. Absolutely. I think all of you down here in the comments are all agreeing with me here. And I don't think he'd be a crap signing for Liverpool in any way, shape or form. Because Liverpool, they haven't missed for a while. And the Luis Diaz one really pissed me off. And maybe they think they're going to try and get a little bit of lightning from Portugal 2 times in a row. I hope it doesn't work out, but it kind of does for Liverpool. They know what they're doing. They know the players that they're signing. We all know that Darwin Nunez has got an incredible goal-scoring record, but he's other parts of his game he has to improve on. But at 85 million, you can get fucked. Sorry, Benfica. I don't care if he goes to Liverpool and becomes this incredible player. Liverpool, their squad is so good that they are in a position where they can go and spunk 85 million. They're about to lose Mane. Salah might be leaving. They're in a position where they need to regenerate, and they only need to regenerate their squad's good enough that they can spend 85 million on one player. We simply put do not have the budget and the funds to go and spend 85 million pounds on Darwin Nunez. So as far as I'm concerned, this should be the last time that we have a conversation about Darwin Nunez. If, as I said, Paul Joyce is somebody who really is on the David Ornstein levels of journalist. So if he says it's 85 million, then it is 85 million. There's no chance that we should be anywhere near that. We should run away. But where are we going to run to? That's the question. Genuinely, do you think we'll sign an attacker this summer? Because I think the only two people who we've been linked with here are Darwin Nunez and Christopher Nkunku. The Darwin Nunez situation we're talking about there, 85 million. Nah, man. I don't care if it go anywhere else. United simply can't afford to do that. But the Nkunku story is it's kind of all gone a little bit quiet on the Western Front, hasn't it? I suppose you could say the same thing about every single player linked with Manchester United, apart from Jurrien Timber and Frenkie de Jong. Scamacca might be a steal for 20 million, and lots of people have talked about Scamacca. Is it Sassuolo he plays for? United have to be smart. And this is what I mean. Signing Darwin Nunez a year ago would have been one of those situations where United, instead of signing a player after he's announced himself to world football, we would have signed him the year before he'd done that. And then he did that at United, and all of a sudden his stature would have grown. United can't afford to let other clubs now. No, we literally can't afford to let other clubs just get these. Obviously, Darwin Nunez has come through their team, but there's no way that we're paying 85 million for that. Look, Andy, I know that we paid 80 million for Harry Maguire, but that's not a measure of something being successful. That was a complete and utter fuck up. That was United overpaying by probably 30, 40 million. And us getting our pants pulled down. We know that. We knew that at the time. Everybody knew at the time that we were like, we're really paying the same amount for Harry Maguire that Liverpool paid for Virgil van Dijk. No one really ever felt that they were going to be on the same level. Every United fan hoped that he would, but no one really did. But it's crazy down there. I'm going to go down there and read a few of your comments. As I said, I can sense there's a real air of frustration among United fans now. The impatience is kicking in. I think part of that is definitely justified. I'll speak about it later on. I'll give my opinion on it, but I want to read a few of your comments down here. Cody, what are you saying? Same story every transfer window. United will go in for a player and not get him. De Jong is our new Schneider. All about Nicholas Gaitan. Do you remember him from Benfica as it was? Jesus, we were supposed to be signing him every single damn year. Would Fergie pay these prices? I mean, no. Fergie would have hated. I've said this before. Fergie got out of management at the right time because he would have hated the growth of power, the growth of player power, not just at United in general, in football culture now. The growth of player power since Fergie retired has been astronomical, and he simply put would not have dealt with it. Remember, United never had a Twitter account until Fergie retired. I always remember that. Jedi, you're saying we have a squad of players on so much money, nobody else wants them. Yeah, that's true. Mo, I'm going to be speaking about Bastoni next. I'm going to be speaking about Sven Botman. I'm going to be speaking about Gvardiol. I don't know how to say his name. Gvardiol? Not Guardiola. The Leipzig centre-back. And you'll note, I believe, that all three of them are left-footed. That's what I'm speaking about next. But this story here, this kind of blew me away. Maybe I'll do a separate video on this afternoon. Like 85 million for... Are you mad? Benfica are just taking the piss. But I suppose you can take the piss because clubs invariably pay it. It's just the way the market has gone, the way the market goes. And it also makes me so frustrated that United still can't get any money for players we sell. It's ridiculous. Fergie made some great signings. He did make some great signings. Like Hernandez, he also made some horrendous signings, like Bebe. It's only getting worse with things like, of course, the Mbappe contract is definitely going to change the scope of how things go. But I cannot believe... I remember, what was it? The start of the summer, I think we were looking... What was the initial price tag that we all heard and read about with Darwin Nunez? I swear it was in the region of like 50 to 60 million. And even at that point, people were like, that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot. But my word, I think the way that the football transfer market has gone, it goes to show how the real value in market football. Now, it kind of always was, right? But the way that the market has gone and the way the market is still going, Manchester United need to get we're talking about best in class. I'll tell you the one place we absolutely need the best in class. That's in our scouting department. That's an absolute necessity. We need to start finding Darwin Nunez, Erling Haaland, before they become Darwin Nunez on the global stage and Erling Haaland on the global stage. We absolutely have to be better than that. Otherwise, the budgets are just going to get blown out of proportion because that's now the business. I suppose it always was the business model of football. These, if you want to call them, smaller clubs, the likes of Benfica, the likes of Dortmund, and Leipzig too. They built an incredible business model. It's like, right, okay, we can't compete with these top level clubs like United, like Real Madrid, like Liverpool and City, with the amount of money we can spend on players. So what they have to do is be better at scouting players so they can find these players and then sell them on for ridiculous profits within a couple of years. And it works so well. It works so well for them. Daryl, this is, I'll be honest, it's definitely a reason why I was so excited about him coming in and changing the overall long-term strategy of Manchester United. Because the transfer window, it's not a case anymore where you can just go out and do an Ed Woodward. I mean, he never fucking could. It didn't work for us. You can't go out and go, who's the best striker? Let's sign one of those top 3-4 strikers. I mean, technically you can, but you're going to have to pay through the nose for it. And we won't pay through the nose. And most clubs won't pay through the nose. We need better scouts, man. And obviously we got rid of Jim Lawler and Marcel Bout. We haven't brought anybody in. Steve Brown, head of recruitment, I think he is now. He's working directly with John Murto. I don't know, man. It's Vicky, you're asking, do you believe the scouting department is old for the modern times? I think the proof is in the pudding, Vicky. If you're looking at the young talents that we've signed in the last... I know I'm getting a little bit distracted here this morning, but I think this is a really relevant conversation that we all need to have. You're looking at Amad Diallo and you're looking at Facundo Pellistri, who between them United spent between 40 and 50 million on. It's not exactly fucking cheap. In fact, that's expensive. It's expensive as hell for two 18-year-olds. Amad Diallo so far, Was it AC Milan? He scored that goal in the Europa League. That nice header. A couple of fleeting appearances. Some decent games on loan at Rangers. But at this moment in time, no. Facundo Pellistri, impressive preseason. Went on loan. Didn't play that many games. He's broken into the Uruguayan national team. Let's see what goes on this year. But that's two signings that we've spent roughly in the region of 40 to 50 million pounds on. That are two teenagers who are yet to break through. Is that going to be wasted money? Or is that going to be two gems that we've unearthed? We don't know yet. If you're looking a little bit younger than that, what United are very, very good at, and this is the thing, right? We've been excellent at signing players in the age bracket of around about 14 to 17. That age bracket, we've been very, very good at. Whether that's Alvaro Fernandez, who I think we got when he was 17, whether that's Hannibal Medbury, there's quite a few. Mark Gerardo was another one we signed from Barcelona that hasn't quite worked out. But in that age bracket, we've been very good with our scouts. We need that sort of application to unearth these sorts of players before they become worth 85 million. We're just going to get outpriced, man. We're going to get outpriced. Martin, I think you've sent in a super sticker there, but you didn't do anything with it. I'm not really sure what a super sticker is, but thank you very much. Jeff, what are you saying, sir? Haaland isn't 51 million. City are fortunate because of his release clause. Yeah, that's very, very true. Of course, that the price of Erling Haaland is a little bit skewed by that release clause. But my God, that's just blown my mind this morning. That's really blown my mind. 85 million for Darwin Nunez, man. You can get in the bin. Get in the bin. But is that just how much? What would you say is a fair price for him? If maybe I'm being unrealistic. Maybe I'm not being fair here at all on how much he's actually worth. I don't know. You can let me know in the comments. The only way we'll know if they're gems if they get playing time, and that does come under Erik ten Hag. Dems or gems? I think probably gems. But hey, look, I think Pellistri definitely is some. Did you see that goal? Not goal he scored, but the goal he set up for Cavani, like real pace, real. He really impressed with preseason. Anthony Langer also impressed last preseason, and he broke through into the first team. We have to. I don't know what. Oh, geez, I literally don't know what to expect for next season. I've got so much hope. I don't know what the expectation is though. Jonathan David, of course, he's been linked with us previously. He's the Canadian striker, I believe. 60. Right, let's see what price you think is a fair one here for Darwin Nunez. 65 million, says Elijah. Anthony, you're going 40 to 60. 60 million max. 40, 50, 60. Bring back David Bellion. Oh, my God. May as well get Prunier there as well. Bring back the whole gang. Player trades. Do they exist anymore? Back in the day, it was just like player swaps. I remember what was the last player swap I remember is Mkhitaryan and Sanchez. Was that Mkhitaryan? I think it was Mkhitaryan and Sanchez. Mkhitaryan and Sanchez? Can't remember. Sod it. Who cares? I know we did a player swap. Ian, congratulations. Wow, say congratulations. You're only 2 years away from 50, mate. Woohoo, I'm joking. Happy birthday, mate. Nice to see you joining in this morning. Dusan, you're saying English clubs have more money because of the insane TV money that they get. And all clubs know this and up the price for Premier League clubs. That's true in itself. But then Benfica sold João Felix to Atletico Madrid for 113 million when he was still a teenager, I think. It's just crazy, man. It's crazy money going everywhere. And I suppose it causes a real anxiety. I think it's fair to call it an anxiety among United fans now about what's happening this summer so far and where we all feel we need to get to and what we need to do to get there. Are we really going to do it? I don't know. I want to come here, as I said. There's a real fear among United fans. So many of you in the comments every single day, I can see it now. It's not getting angry is the wrong word, but probably it is angry. But there's a real anxiety among United fans that this summer is just not going to go properly. Just not going to go right. As I said, the natural position of pessimism that every United fan still stands in and will continue to stand in until proven otherwise. And the only thing that can change that is having a solid summer where we go and get the signings that Erik ten Hag wants. Now, we all know what the priorities are. A central midfielder, at least one central midfielder, hopefully two central midfielders, and a forward and a centre-back. We know that they are the priorities. They've been laid out. We know all the plans, right? We don't exactly know who those players are, but we can make pretty fair assumptions. We know full well that Frankie de Jong and Jurrien Timber, they're the main two candidates for those two positions, central midfielder and centre-back. We still have no bloody idea about a defensive midfielder, which continues to blow my mind. It's still the most important thing that we have to sort. And if we were going to make one signing this summer, I wished it was already in Tchouaméni or somebody along those lines. But if it's not going to be Tchouaméni, and we know it's not going to be Tchouaméni now, who is that central midfielder going to be? That defensive-minded central midfielder? I don't know. But if we're looking at centre-backs, right, this was going to be the main talking point to begin this stream. Jurrien Timber is the main centre-back that we are linked with. A ball-playing centre-back, somebody brought into the club, hypothetically, to improve our ability to play out from the back with the ball. The Jurrien Timber story, as we know, in fact, I can bring you the update. Well, not the update. Comment here from Louis van Gaal on Jurrien Timber. He was asked about him yesterday in his press conference out in Netherlands, and he said, look, is he ready to play in the Premier League? He said, I think a player with his qualities can play in the Premier League. That's not a problem. But if he has to make that step up now, that is another question. Right? And Louis van Gaal was also asked, how does he get into the Dutch national team? He goes, look, he's got to play. He will play game time. I personally think it would be a move that shows a lack of ambition if Jurrien Timber was to stay at Ajax rather than move to Manchester United to fight for that position. Because Erik ten Hag can be very blunt with him. It's like, bro, Raphael Varane, he'll get into the team. But seriously, it's between you, Varane and Lindelof. Sorry, you, Maguire and Lindelof for that other spot. And I absolutely think he will give him plenty of game time. You might not see Timber starting every single week at the beginning, but if he plays himself into form, I think Erik ten Hag will therefore have justification to play him every single week. I'm going to read a few of your comments here. There's going to be a lot of comments coming in. I will try and interact with as many of them as possible because it's not quite the therapy room that these live streams used to be during the season. Jesus, I do not miss those. But yeah, there's a lot of angst and I suppose frustration at sitting on the sidelines and watching other clubs do their business while United get linked with a ton of players but don't sign anybody. Now, Glenn, I've spoken about Lema. That one, again, strikes me as very strange. A player who may not be the most incredible player in that position, but at a fee of around about 15 to 25 million euros, somebody who clearly can operate inside that pressing, ball-winning defensive midfield role for Manchester United at a relatively cut price that would allow us to invest big elsewhere. For me, it makes perfect sense that he would be on our list of defensive midfield options, but at this time, we haven't really heard too much about it. Jeff saying Van Gaal's not helping us at all. I don't think Van Gaal's really said anything wrong there. Van Gaal is a man who speaks with complete honesty. Got him into a lot of trouble at Manchester United. And he said one thing in particular. I wanted to bring this video up here before we do quickly move on. It's something he said about Erik ten Hag when he was probably asked about why is it going to be different for Erik ten Hag at Manchester United compared to when you were there. This is what he said.
I have spoken, but there is now a new leadership. It was Woodward and now it's Richard Arnold. And that can make the difference. So we have to wait and see. He has a lot of confidence. So who is I to say something about that?
Look, Louis van Gaal is somebody I would absolutely love to get the opportunity to interview about Ed Woodward. He was stabbed in the back by Woodward, sacked after the FA Cup final, and clearly mistreated and told one thing to his face when something else was going on behind the scenes. And if that was his experience of Manchester United, which it was, of course he would be looking at it with concerns. And we all thought, oh, maybe that'll stop Erik ten Hag joining. We were like, come on. It wouldn't. It didn't. But he said it there. Erik ten Hag is confident. And if Erik ten... And this is the thing. JP, I can see you join there as a member. Let me know where you're watching from, buddy. I'll try and give you a shout out. Ray, I can see your super chat there. I'll read that out in a bit. But I want to say this. As Louis van Gaal says there, Erik ten Hag is confident that Manchester United will get what we need to get done this summer. He was so confident that he signed the contract with the club. He's placed his own ambitions as a manager in the hands of Manchester United's ambitions to get back as a top-level club. Now, I don't feel that those ambitions were misplaced. I don't feel that confidence was misplaced. And that's what that's the feeling I've got when I see all this frustration among United fans about signing. As I said, we're going to speak about the 3 centre-backs we've been linked with in the last 24 hours. Either this is a complete coincidence or United might be looking elsewhere. It depends whether you think it's a distraction or not. But I think Erik ten Hag won't be let down this summer. Because I want this to be as I said, it's because it's what I want. And I might be proven wrong. But I don't care about being proven correct or proven wrong. It's not what I'm here for. I want what's best for United. And for me, the idea of spreading negativity about us not signing any players, look at everything that goes on. I could equally have as much egg on my face if in 2 weeks' time we've signed like 2 incredible players. And I'll be like, well, there you go. I want to try and bring a level of patience back to people. I know it's frustrating seeing everything that's going on with Real Madrid, with City, with Dortmund. But look, man, Ten Hag trusted United enough to sign that contract. Is that misplaced? History will tell us, yes, that is misplaced. History will tell us the Glazers are just going to let him down. But Solskjaer was backed in his first summer, back to the tune of over 200 million if you include Bruno Fernandes in January. Louis van Gaal was backed with 170 million. Jose Mourinho was back with over 150 million. I think we will make the signings. It's just frustrating, I suppose, that it hasn't happened yet. And I know that. Ray, you're saying Timber should sign. These young players have no fight. I'm sorry. Who does not want to play for United? I mean, that's how we all feel as fans. But the players don't really share that same sentiment anymore, Ray. And that's something that we have to absolutely get back. Let me read a few more of your comments down here. Eyes in the Sky saying nobody is doing any business officially yet because guess what? The transfer is not open yet. Also, I love it how the club has stopped leaks about transfers, but now all you clowns are crying. Eye in the Sky, that is, I don't know whether to call it ironic. It might not be ironic, but it comes from that natural point of pessimism because you can look at this silence from one of 2 directions. Number one, United are shit. Why are we not acting? Why are we not moving? Why are we just sitting here and not making any moves in the transfer market? Or on the other hand, United are keeping all their transfer dealings under wraps, behind closed doors. No one really knows what's going on, and no one will know what's going on until, boom, a signing is announced. And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm still hoping for that in the next 2 weeks. And the video this afternoon is either going to be on this Darwin Nunez crazy idea of 85 million and how these are the sorts of things that United have just got to walk away from. Have the tenacity to walk away from it. Don't just get pulled into it. It's what we always have done. We're like the easiest lure. You just like throw a carrot, you just dangle it like that. We just gobble it all up. How much do you want? I don't know. There you go. That's what we've done previously. We have to stop that. But it's not necessarily British people, Neil. It's not necessarily there's no xenophobia going on here. This is just football fans. There is a degree of impatience in football. And I've spoken about this before. And that's why I didn't want to do a video on Monday because I didn't feel like there was too much of a talking point because I don't want to fuel it too much. But it feels like United are making moves, and I will run into that next. Thank you very much, by the way, Joseph, for sending a super chat. You're saying, hey, Sam, do you think United are waiting for the release of the new kit to have any new signings holding up our new shirt? I'm trying to remain positive that announcements will be made next week. I don't think that's going to stop or make any new signings, Joseph, because, of course, those new signings will be pictured wearing the shirt anyway. And I think Paul Pogba was in. I don't think those 2 things are linked in any way, shape, or form. But as I said, or as I put on the title of the video, United making moves. We've all heard about Jurrien Timber constantly. Jurrien Timber and Pau Torres are the 2 centre-backs that we've been linked with. Now, in the last 24 hours, there's been a wave of movement being led by Gianluca Di Marzio. You remember Gianluca Di Marzio before the existence of Fabrizio Romano? He was right up there with one of the best journalists for news when it came to transfers, when it came to anything coming out of Italy. Di Marzio knew. He said, look, Inter, it's not only Spurs who were linked with him. Manchester United also as well. When we go down here, saying he's very popular. Obviously, the simple and the easiest move would, of course, be for Antonio Conte to be reunited with the player that he managed at Inter, and that's Alessandro Bastoni. But Manchester United are now being linked with a move for him. And he's going down here saying, look, in the last few hours, Manchester United have been moving to sign him, 23 years old. I mean, he's a ball-playing, left-footed centre-back. And he's not the only one inside here that we've been getting linked with. Look, Sven Botman is it from Lille? Is he in Milan now? Look. I think he already moved. He must have already moved. No, he is at Lille. Oh, I thought he was at Lille. Anyway, Sven Botman. 2 names there that we've been linked with, 2 left-footed centre-backs, and they're not the only ones. We go over here. This is from John Percy, I believe, at the Telegraph. Look, Gvardiol from Leipzig. Manchester United being named here. Interestingly, by the way, he didn't actually name Manchester United when speaking about Bastoni. But they're in the last 24 hours, Manchester United getting linked with 3 different left-footed centre-backs. Either a massive coincidence, huge coincidence, or United are really going to be looking for that type of profile of signing. That type of profile of centre-back. Which isn't particularly what we all know Jurrien Timber is, because he is more of a right-back and right centre-back mix than anything to do with the left-footed, being a left-footed centre-back. Quite a few of you in the comments down here asking about Lukaku and the money there. I don't actually know what that situation is, because they owed us like 40, 50 million at one point, didn't they? I don't know whether they still do owe us that amount of money or whether they don't. But I found that's quite an interesting point. I should probably do a little bit of research into that. In terms of Bastoni, that's probably the one out of all those 3 that quite a lot of you be like, okay, I'm interested in that. That'll be a very decent signing. This is what he said about his future at Inter. He goes, I've got 2 years of my contract left. I'm relaxed. Club hasn't told me anything. I'm just waiting to go on vacation after this, and then preseason starts. Yeah, Carmo's another one there. I'm not sure who Ignacio is, but United are getting. It's either United are getting linked with a ton of these players. You could say, again, from a cynical perspective, this Bastoni story may well just be a ploy by Bastoni's agents to try and negotiate better terms, better contracts, better deal with Spurs, with Antonio Conte, or United really are interested. What does your gut say about that? On the one hand, if United really are going after Bastoni, we linked with Botman there too. We linked with Gvardiol from Leipzig. Then what does that mean about Jurrien Timber? Does that mean that we're really trying to cast our net wide because we're not going to go and get our main target? I don't know. You can let me know what you think about that in the comments. Tomorrow is the opening of the transfer window. What do you think will happen? Buffering. Is it tomorrow or is it the next day? It's either the 9th or the 10th. Remember that deals can, of course, happen before the transfer window opens. It's just you cannot register a player until that transfer window opens. Maybe this is the thing that United are waiting for. Maybe United are waiting to get that money off, although you know the money's coming off the books anyway, because Cavani and Pogba and all of those are left already. I don't particularly think that it changes anything. I don't particularly think out of nowhere United are going to get this new energy in the transfer window because the window's officially open. I think it's the exact same today as it would be tomorrow. Ross, you're saying Timber as a right centre-back and right back, and Gvardiol as a left centre-back and left back. Perfect signings to build on. I mean, let's find out. Thomas, you think, look, it's just about agents driving up the price of players. If we were serious, we would not be so public about it until we wait to make the offer. And this is the thing, which somebody else alluded to earlier in the comments. You can't want United to get rid of the leaks, to tighten up our dressing room, and then at the same time be angry and frustrated when there's not constant stories in the press about United being linked with players. Because those two things are interlinked. Those two things are intertwined. If John Murtough's doing his job properly, in fact, no, it's not about John Murtough at all. It's just about agents. All of this, the transfer market circus, as it now is, exists pretty much solely because of football agents, because of the influence that they now have, and because of the prices of players that now exist. It's crazy. There's so many of you coming down here in the comments. As I always say, thank you very much for making these shows great every single morning. I love answering your questions. I hardly ever say it anymore, but look, if you are new to United People's TV, please make sure you subscribe. And please make sure, can you drop a like on the video? It does make such a big, big difference to United People's TV in bringing new people in and making the audience that much bigger. Bjorna, nice to see you there as a new member today. He's saying, Sam, do you think Martial could do good under Ten Hag, or is he going out the door? My opinion on Martial is pretty firm. I don't want Manchester United to give him another chance. I want Manchester United to cash in on a player that we can sell for good money that I don't think has got a future at the club anymore. If we can get 20, 25 million for Dan James, we should be getting 30, 35 million for Anthony Martial, a player who can and will go elsewhere, have a very decent career. I just don't think that should be at Manchester United anymore. What else are you saying down here in the comments? Ray, thank you very much, buddy, as always. You're saying, hi, Sam. I think when we sign them, then I will believe that United's recruitment has changed. The acid test will be this summer for Manchester United. I've said it to you yesterday. I've done so many videos on the rebuild, on all the structural changes and all the things that I'm quite positive about that are making United a better football club overall. But we need better recruitment. It's got to happen this summer. If it doesn't happen this summer and it comes to the start of the season, I think it's the 6th of August, first game, and we haven't got the signings that we need, then it will just be another I told you so moment from those fans who doubted whether United could truly change. And I don't want to give them the satisfaction of being correct. And I hope that United had that same sort of feeling, that John Murtough has that same sort of feeling. We'll see, eh? We will see. We will see. Pele, you're feeling positive here. Sleeping Giant. Wow, at some point we'll wake up, but geez, when will it happen? Let me go down here and read a few more of your comments out. Stephen saying, new to the channel, love the content. Thank you very much, buddy. Let's hope this transfer window is a success and we can move on. We need to move on at some point, man. We've been stuck in the mud for so long. I'm bored of being the laughing stock. I am bored of being the laughing stock. And I'll tell you one thing. This made me... I don't even think I'll bring that up, actually. Let me get rid of that. Yeah. This yesterday happened, and I suppose it's these sorts of things that are fueling the frustration among United fans. So David Ornstein yesterday morning talking about the verbal agreement that Monaco have reached with Real Madrid in a package worth over 100 million euros for Aurelien Tchouameni. That's an incredible amount of money. So this is what we're talking about, man. We're talking about this 85 million for Darwin Nunez, and then we're talking about 100 million plus for Aurelien Tchouameni. Two players who were on our list, really, at the start of the summer. Tchouameni was the player I put down as my number one. But look, this is what I said on Twitter yesterday. I said, look, man, you signing Camavinga and Tchouameni while you still have Kroos and Modric, and of course they got Casemiro too, playing in the twilight of their careers, Kroos and Modric anyway. That is how you go about replacing a midfield. It's incredible what Real Madrid... And remember, Real Madrid, out of nowhere, sort of winning the Champions League. No one really expected them to. They had some decent players, but Ancelotti worked a miracle. They won the Champions League and League double, took advantage of Barcelona disappearing off the face of the earth. And now they've gone and got Camavinga and Tchouameni, ready-made replacements for when Kroos and Modric walk out the door. Now, that is how you replace a midfield. That you can't help but look at that with a massive degree of jealousy. A massive degree of jealousy, because it's insane. And it's kind of what we dream of, really, as United fans. And that is how a top-level club can act when they know what they want and they know they can go out and get it. I just don't know whether this silence... Again, I don't know whether this silence really in the market is United just doing their things differently, operating differently and better, or whether it's just United at this moment in time not really making moves. Joseph, you can't. I didn't know you were in hospital, buddy. So show's been highlighting my day. I suppose you're not really having a good day in hospital. Well, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated, man. And look, I hope you get better. And I hope these shows are helping. I love these shows every morning, man. I love speaking to you. It's why I set the comments for subscribers only, because it's for the community. I'll say it down there again. Anybody who hasn't joined the Telegram community yet, let me leave a link in the description here for you. Where is it? There it is. You can join on anybody from Facebook, anybody from YouTube. It's free to join. Just go there and become part of it, because I tell you what, Mohammed, he's not got in contact with me yet. He's got until Friday. He was the winner of the £250 giveaway. I'm giving that away in cash to somebody as a thank you for helping the channel get to 250,000 subscribers. He's not got in contact with me yet. He's got a couple more days. As I've said to you before, I'm not going to be reaching out to him anyway. I've tagged him on Telegram, and I've spoken about it a few times here on the stream. If he doesn't get in contact with me by Friday, I'm going to give that away on Friday. All right, I'm going to do a redraw. So if you're not part of the Telegram community, I'm giving it away to one random member, any member who joins. So it could be you. Satyaki watching from Amsterdam, a little bit late waking up. Was that because you had a decent night last night? I want to go to Amsterdam again, man. Derek, let's not be silly. We can still hijack this Tchouaméni deal. No, we cannot. Tchouaméni was a bit like Camavinga. Camavinga made his mind up that he wanted to join Real Madrid. United backed out of it. Well, I'm not sure whether we're ever truly in for him. Already in Tchouaméni, Liverpool were linked, PSG were linked. PSG even offered more money up front. All rejected because he wanted to go to Real Madrid. But that's the sort of level of player that could change things for United. That's why he was top of my list. Top of my list was Tchouaméni. What's happened? Real Madrid have signed him, and PSG and Liverpool were trying to sign him. Goes to show that he was the top choice in that position. Shetan, you're saying, look, irrespective of transfers, I'm excited. I'm dead excited, man. I'm so excited. I wish that the summer could be over and this could be the 6th of August and that we could sit here now and we could be excited about the football we're about to watch. Because once that all happens, once the bullshit of the summer is all out of the way, we're going to start watching a team with a coach that's really going to get us playing with an identity. Week in, week out, United are going to play the same. And if we're not good at it at the start, we'll get better every single week. What will improve the possibilities of us being good from the start? Our summer. We know that. Ibra, you're saying there's no smoke from the Martial camp. Will he leave? I don't particularly think he's massively in demand. He had a shit loan spell at Sevilla. Injuries didn't help him. But Sevilla were like, hell no, man. We are not signing him. You can have him back. And he's on such bumper wages. I don't know. Martial could end up being another season-long loan with an obligation to buy. That's what I think could happen with Martial. And probably the same goes for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Because of the amount of money we spent on them, because of the amount of wages we're paying them. Don't think any club will really be able to afford Wan-Bissaka. Certainly not Crystal Palace. Anthony Martial, I think that we could get a good amount of money for him, man. Vinicius, I hate Real Madrid. Real Madrid's team looks ridiculous, isn't it? Looks ridiculous. They were so good in that Champions League final at just being Real Madrid. Good morning from Copenhagen. Good morning to you from Copenhagen too. Who was that? Can't see that. Oh, there you go. Oliver watching from Copenhagen. I might go to the pre-season game against Atletico Madrid at Norway. I'm trying to get some accreditation to the game so I can go and report on it there for you. But if anybody's out in Norway, maybe I'll come out and visit you. Ove, look, maybe you're from Norway. Being a little bit jumping to conclusions there, but let me know where you're watching from. Look, anybody who's got any questions to ask, fire them in the comments. As I said, I share your frustration. Maybe I'll do a video on this afternoon. I don't know how to describe it or title it, but I share the frustration that United fans have. But I've just got this little bit of optimism inside me that I think we're going to come good this summer, man. You have to have that optimism. Seriously, what's the fucking point? What is the point in being excited about Erik ten Hag coming in if you genuinely thought that we were going to screw it all up this summer? I don't think those two things go hand in hand. And as I've said before, I don't think that Erik ten Hag, a man who's got such ambitions as he does, would have signed that deal without any sort of guarantees of what's happening this summer. And of course, those guarantees can be broken. It's a bit like Boris Johnson lies 24/7 to everybody's face. Maybe he's been lied to. Maybe the Glazers have lied to him. But I like to think that that's not going to happen. And I've seen rumors and reports that Matt Judge is somehow involved in transfer dealings this summer, but he's been removed as the head of negotiations, and that's done. So anything else is conjecture. He's not in the job anymore. So why is he going to be involved in everything? Pyro. No pyro, no party. The Timber move, it's gone a bit stagnant. It's gone a bit stagnant after we've seen reports last week saying that he had concerns about moving to Manchester United because of a lack of game time ahead of the World Cup. It's all gone a bit quiet. Maybe that's because he's away on international duty, but I don't really think that changes much at all because it's not as if it's going to be him who sorts the deal out. It's his agent. But that's kind of gone a little bit quiet. Frankie de Jong, that went quiet over the weekend as well. So much talk and so much movement coming out of Spain last week about de Jong, about Barcelona being forced to sell. We're coming towards that deadline. 8 days' time. Coming towards that deadline of Barcelona when they need to either decide to sell de Jong or they're going to have an influx of cash from elsewhere. I did get the feeling that we would probably have to wait until that point before we had any sort of movement on Frankie de Jong, and maybe that is going to be the case. But bear in mind as well that I don't think Frankie de Jong would join up with Erik ten Hag for the preseason on the 27th of June, even if we did sign him, because anybody who's involved in international duties is going to get an extended break anyway. And of course, we don't fly out, I don't believe, until the 12th of July. So realistically, don't know. 5th of July, probably around about a month's time. I'd say we've got around about a month to really get our deals done. In an ideal world, they'd all be done before the preseason even begins on the 27th of June. So 19 days. I don't think that's going to happen too much. Wayne, what are you saying down here on Facebook? Do you think Ten Hag will be planning on signing youngsters so he can mold them into world-class players? That should absolutely be the ambition and the strategy of Manchester United. A bit of both. A little bit of both. And it's that blend that we've got to get properly because we've gone for what we've tried to do in the last few years is sign players in the age bracket of like 26 to 31, established internationals, trying to eke out another year or two from them. And it hasn't really worked. And it's why the Christian Eriksen situation, I was like, kind of makes sense. But at the same time, it makes me a hypocrite for supporting it. It's a bit weird. Thoughts on Gabriel Jesus? I don't know why you're asking me for thoughts on that because he's not coming to Manchester United. Elijah asking about Ndidi as a CDM. Ndidi is a proper CDM. Not sure he's somebody who would absolutely work in an Erik ten Hag 4-2-3-1. Not that he wouldn't, but I think he'll go for somebody who has a little bit more ability with the ball at his feet. Clock, you're asking, what's the obsession with Jurrien Timber? And why won't you talk about Pau Torres, who would probably be a better player anyway? Pau Torres, I have spoken about Pau Torres quite a lot. But Jurrien Timber has obviously become the top choice. He's obviously become the preferred candidate for Erik ten Hag. And why wouldn't he be? He's literally just managed him. He's helped him grow from a young, up-and-coming academy player into an established, top-level international footballer. And that has happened under Erik ten Hag's watch. So let's not be too much of a surprise. Let's not be too surprised, that he wants him first and foremost. Vikings, I can see down there. I think I sent out yesterday, I sent out 10 gifted United People's TV memberships. Maybe I'll try and do that every Friday as well. Why not? Why not? Uzziah, calm down and trust the process. Part of me completely agrees with that, man. Majority of me completely agrees with that, but I do understand where the frustration is. I'm just trying to sort of temper that frustration, temper the impatience of football fans, United fans, all football fans. We all want our signings done yesterday so we can sit there, feet up on the lazy boy, crack a beer, and just watch it as all these other clubs scramble for their signings. It's been a long time since we did that. I used to do it every single... That's why I used to like the transfer deadline day so much, because I could just sit back and just laugh at all the other teams. And then United got involved in every single bloody one post-Fergie, starting with Fellaini. Jeez. Brozovic is a good option, says Josh. I'm pretty sure Brozovic has signed a new deal, isn't he? He's either signed a new deal or not, or about to sign a new deal. Peter, you're saying it's too quiet for my liking. As I said, it depends what you want. You are the... and the transfer window has just become so hyper. I spoke about this before, and it happens with Manchester United more than a lot of clubs as well. Because of the size of the club we are, because Manchester United sells, every single detail of every transfer comes out into the public. It's another update in the story. It's another twist. It's another turn. It's another saga. It's another step. It's another chapter. It's another door to walk through, another hurdle to jump over. Because it gets reported every single day. It doesn't really happen too much. No one gives a fuck about Aston Villa. No offense, Aston Villa. That was pretty offensive. No apologies. But Aston Villa out of nowhere, they made signing. Boom. Operating behind closed doors. Nothing really too much was leaked. It's just different at United. It is just different. It's the way we go. Way we go. And we all want this rebuild to happen. I personally think, and I feel quite strongly about this, that come the start of the season, we're all going to have big smiles on our faces. I think the signings that we needed to have made, I think we would have made them. I don't know who they're going to be, but I think we're going to make 3 to 4 signings. It's what my gut is telling me. It's what my gut's told me all summer. And let's see if I'm proven right or wrong. And I know there's frustration among United fans, but I just think come this first game of the season, I think the majority of us are going to have smiles on our faces. That's why I think so anyway. Alex, nice to see you there joining as a member. Where are you watching from? I'll try and give you a shout out. Ibra, yeah, I'm going to be interviewing Josh. I think that's happening next Monday. I apologize to everybody who wanted a podcast episode this week. I didn't do one because I felt, as I said, there wasn't really too much to talk about, in my opinion, and that's why I sort of held back in not doing it. Let's finish on this little note here from Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic. I saw somebody mention it down in the comments, and it's this. Saying, look, James Pearce, again, Liverpool keen to sign Benfica's Darwin Nunez, who was deemed as the ideal fit star-wise. Price could be an issue. Laurie Whitwell here, interest in development on Darwin Nunez. United open talks from a while ago, but midfield is the first priority. 85 million, as I said, we already ran through that. You can get fucked. They can get fucked. There's no way that United are paying that much for him. But if midfield is a priority, which it absolutely should be, then United, man, we've got to make some movement for defensive midfielders. What's going on there? I don't even know what the targets are anymore. I don't know who's available. Jurrien, I've spoken about him. Conrad Lema, what's going on there? Hopefully we're just remaining quiet on there. But if we don't do much there, he'll probably go towards Bayern Munich instead. But if midfield is a priority, let's move, man. Let's start to get things done. And maybe, as I said, I hope that this is all happening behind closed doors and that we just don't know about it. Alex, nice to see you there. Finally, member. I can't wait for the season. Chatting all the way from Nigeria. How you doing, buddy? Nice to have you on board here. Look, I'll wrap this one up for today. I felt like we had to have a proper conversation there about everything that's happened so far in the transfer window, everything that could happen, because I know there's a lot of frustration among United fans. I'm here to say I think we're all going to be happy at the start of the season. That's just my gut. That's not me being fucking in the know, because I'm not in the know. I never have been, and maybe I will be at some point now. But let's see. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the signings. I'm going to do a video this afternoon. I might do a video on this Darwin Nunez situation. It's just absolutely crazy. 85 million is mad. But I'll see. There will be a video out at lunchtime, as it always is. Please, if you are still here, make sure you drop a like on the video and you subscribe to United People's TV. I enjoyed the chat this morning. I hope you did too. And thank you, everybody who sent in your interactions and your comments and your questions and your super chats. All the support for the channel, much appreciated. And I'll see you tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. as always, or 9:33 if you're an OG.